Hi everyone, Tyler here from TW-Waytek. Today we're going to be talking about how to export a large filtered SharePoint list into a CSV file using Power Automate. So let's get started. In my previous video, I showed how to import 100,000 rows into a SharePoint list from a CSV file using Power Automate. In this video, I'm going to show you how to export a subset of those records, 42,000 in all, from the SharePoint list, from the same SharePoint list, into a CSV file using Power Automate. And to do this, I'll be using the OData query filter to filter those records. This is the list that we imported into SharePoint. So you can see here it's 100,000 records. There's 56 columns in all, a total of 5.6 million data points in this SharePoint list. So we're going to be filtering this list by some select countries. We'll be filtering Canada, United Kingdom, and United States. So you can see here there's a total of 42,718 records, and that's what we'll be filtering. I start this flow off with the manual trigger, although you can use any trigger. To include scheduled cloud flow if you wanted to pull this data daily, weekly, monthly, whatever. So the first action we're using is the get items action in SharePoint. For this action, the first thing you want to provide is the site address, so the location of your SharePoint site, where the list is, and then the name of the list. And then in order to filter this data, or how we'll be filtering the data here, is going to be using the filter query, the OData filter query. So this is the query. We're looking for field 31 equals to Canada, or field 31 equals to the United States, or field 31 equals to United Kingdom. Now, in the list, the column name that we're using is country. So this is the column name. It's not field 31. So actually, SharePoint creates its own name for your columns. And in order to find that name, what you need to do is come to your SharePoint list, go to your settings, go to your list settings, and then from here you should see all your columns. So you can go to the column you're looking for, so in this case country, so we'll click on that, and this takes us to the column settings. Okay, so now from in the very top of our browser, the last part of this is the field, is the column name, which in this case is field 31. So that's how I got the name of the field for the OData query. There are a couple of limitations to overcome with this export. The default maximum number of records to retrieve is 100. Fortunately, the maximum number of records available to retrieve is 100,000. So if you go to settings, you'll see here under networking, pagination. We want to turn this on. So that's what it looks like, off. And then the threshold. So that's going to be your maximum number of records. So maximum is going to be 100,000. I have 50,000 here because I know the result is going to be 42,000. So we're fine. But you can put any value up to the 100,000. If you don't put anything and you turn the pagination off, it's going to default to 100. The other limitation or challenge to overcome is the file size limit, or the data retrieval size limit. So with this get items action, there's a maximum data retrieval of 209 megabytes. So I have 5.6 million data points in the SharePoint list, and if I were to pull the full 100,000 records, it's going to put me over the file size export limit. So that's why we did the OData filter, so we could get around this. And There's two factors with it. You have to figure out, it's not just a matter of the number of records, it's also the number of columns and then also the data in those columns. So in my data set, there's a lot of large multi-line fields that we're pushing the data higher. So by getting my values down to 42,000, just over 42,000 records, I was able to successfully export, keeping myself under the 209 megabytes file size results. Next, you want to add the select action. Here, we're going to have the dynamic content from our get item for the body value. When you select this, it's going to pull down all of the column names from the SharePoint list. And then here, you're going to want to match the list name that's in SharePoint with the column name. So here's ID, here's scrape ID, here's last scraped. So you just go one by one, selecting the dynamic content. So as I said, I have a total of 56 columns. So I had already done this mapping. So your next action is going to be creating a CSV table. And we're going to take our output from our select action. So go to here and select your output. I'm not using any other advanced parameters. And then lastly is we're going to create a file in SharePoint. So we're going to use our site address. We're going to put the folder path where we want the file to be saved. For the file name, I'm using a dynamic name ending it with the .csv. So in our dynamic name, it's just an expression using format date time, UTC now, and then in the format of year, month, day, hour, minutes, seconds. And that'll give us, that'll allow the file to be saved multiple times within the same day or same hour or same minute for that matter. And then lastly is the file content, which we want to pull from our CSV table. So we're pulling the output from the create CSV table action. And that's it. It's really not much else. That's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Let's give it a try. So we'll save that. Let's give it a test. Here we go. So now it's going to go through the various actions and it's going to take some time. So what we'll do is we'll see how it looks when it's finished. So the flow is completed. This is the flow here. It was 11 minutes, 24 seconds. I've been doing other tests on different types of filters. So these are the things I'm working on. But this was the flow here, 11 minutes. This is the file. You can see it has a dynamic name. It's .csv. If we go into the file, we have all 56 columns and 42,719 rows. And that's it. For more information on this video and more, make sure to visit my website at TW-Waytek.com. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description below. So that concludes my video. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe to my channel to get all the latest technology tips, and to visit my website at TW-Waytek.com, where you'll find even more tips and tricks. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.